It's the middle of January in the Bay Area, and it is time for me to prune my pomegranate tree. Now, this is the time when the tree is still dormant. In a month, it's going to start budding out, and then it'll be too late. So now is the perfect time to prune this tree. And this has been neglected for a few years now. I got this about, I'd say, 3 years ago, and I haven't really kept up with the pruning. This tree grows really, really fast and it needs to be pruned regularly for maximum production. So let's go ahead and do that today. So first things first, your tools. I've got my handy dandy Felco pruners, which I've sterilized with a little bit of rubbing alcohol, and I've also sharpened it a little bit. Now, you can use a pruning saw for the bigger branches, but I only have a pair of loppers, so that's going to have to do, and I've done the same thing. I've cleaned it up and I've sterilized it. And don't forget safety. Pomegranate trees do have thorns, so you want to make sure that you've got a good, sturdy pair of gloves. I've got a leather pair that's absolutely too big for me, but it'll have to do. And I'm wearing long sleeves. Let's go ahead and get into our pruning. Let's do a little bit of a close-up. You're going to work from the bottom towards the top. So let's take off some of the branches from the bottom. Now, I want to keep this one. This was the main branch that it came with. This one is crossing over, but I want to try to grow the plant a little bit more in this direction. It's slanting a little bit this way. So I am going to keep that. And this one is going to stay as well because eventually I want this plant to grow kind of more like a bush, a bowl-shaped bush. So I'm going to keep this branch. So the ones that I want to remove are on this side. Some of these smaller branches that are crossing over here, all these are going to have to go. So I'm going to eventually end up with 3 main branches. You want to go as close to the bottom as possible. I might have to come back and do this twice. Take this one out as well. That is looking so much better already. Now I'm going to be removing any branches that are sort of crossing, as well as any branches that are growing inward. While you're about it, also look for any diseased or damaged broken branches and remove them. Here are some fun facts about pomegranate trees. Did you know that they can grow really easily from cuttings and they don't need to be grafted? Also, they're one of the fastest trees to grow and are able to produce in 2 to 3 years from the time that you start the cutting. Amazing. And lastly, I'm going to be taking off any branches that are looking downward because the fruit are heavy on this plant and they will pull the branches down, and that just makes it more accessible to critters. I'm also going to take down the height of the tree because I like it to be no more than about 4 feet tall, especially given that it's in a whiskey barrel. Can't grow too very large. So I'm going to try and keep it compact. In India, where I grew up, pomegranates are one of those treasured fruits that are considered a symbol of prosperity and fertility. It is extremely nutrient dense and definitely one of the top superfoods. And we're done. I hope you enjoyed this video, folks. Give it a thumbs up if you did. And if you've got any additional advice for me, like I said, this is the first time I'm pruning this pomegranate tree. So I just watched a lot of videos, did a lot of research on how to do it. And that's what I've shown you over here. I know that the pomegranate is a pretty forgiving tree, so it'll come back again next year. So if you know of anything that I've been doing wrong with this, please do leave a comment below. But I do hope you learned something new, and I hope you'll give this a try because pomegranate trees do need to be pruned. Until next time, live green and love your greens.